Hi, DC neighbors. This morning, in response to the COVID-19 health emergency, the mayor and the Board of Elections announced that elections or primary elections in June are going to be significantly done over absentee ballot. So typically the city has over 140 precincts where folks can go and vote. But in June, they are already anticipating that they will only have 20 sites for folks to vote in person. So they're requesting that folks go online and request an absentee ballot so that we can ensure everyone has a chance to make sure that their voice is heard in June. So I wanted to provide just a couple of instructions on how to do that. This is not endorsed by the Board of Elections. This is just me kind of relaying my own experience of having done it this morning and offering a few tips, because there are a couple places where the process is a little bit uncertain or a little confusing perhaps, and just wanted to make sure that I could offer folks some advice. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of walk through the process. All right, so the first thing you want to do is go to votefordc.com, and I'll provide the links below. But you'll see here this button for how do I get an absentee ballot. You want to click there, and then you'll want to scroll to the very bottom of this page where you check this box affirming that you are a U.S. citizen, registered to vote in DC, and are eligible to vote in the upcoming elections. You'll click Save and Next. Then it's going to ask you for which elections you'd like to receive an absentee ballot. So we have the primary election, of course, in June, and the general in November. If you're a Ward 2 resident, there's also a special election for the vacant council seat that we currently have. So you can also request that you receive an absentee ballot for all of the elections in 2020 by checking that box. You certainly can just choose one. Unfortunately, the platform does not allow you to choose two. And I myself am a Ward 2 voter. So what I did was I selected primary election, and then I found a way that I'll show you a little bit later in the process to also indicate that I wanted to receive an absentee ballot for the Ward 2 special election as well. You'll then scroll down. If you are military or overseas, you'll fill in this information. But if you're just doing this in response to the COVID emergency and you plan to be home, then you can just hit Save and Next. You'll want to fill in your information. Date of birth. And email address. And then it will ask you for either your driver's license ID number or the last 4 of your social security number. And that's so that they can cross-check with their records to make sure that they're sending the absentee ballot to the right person. Okay, then it's gonna ask for your residence. So this is the address that you are registered to vote from. It asks you to divide up your address by house number, then by street, then by sort of the street suffix, and there are way more than I ever knew were possible. But we're just gonna look for road in this case. And also the quadrant in the city that you live. Be sure to include any apartment number, and then of course your zip code. It will then also ask you where you want your ballot mailed. So if the address that they should mail it to is different than your voting address, you want to check that box and provide that information. And if you need assistance voting, you'll also want to check that box and provide the requested information. Save and Next. It'll then provide a summary of what you've just requested. Make sure all that information is correct. If it's not, go back and make your edits. Otherwise, Save and Next. And finally, it's going to give you this option to print a PDF. This is where it gets a little funny. So while most of this process is done online, like we've just walked through, you do have to actually sign a PDF and then submit that to complete the process. So what you'll do is you'll check this little radio button that says download PDF. You'll hit save and download PDF. And now it's gonna say submitted successfully. That is sort of true. You are not done. What hopefully will happen, depending on your computer settings, mine just brings up a PDF. And so I'm gonna pull that up now as well. Okay, so it will pull up this PDF, it's 2-page, and it should have populated all of the information that you just told it online into this paper form. What you'll want to do here, remember I had said if you are a Ward 2 resident and you'd like to receive that ballot in the mail, this is where you can go and check the box right there. That is the best advice I can offer. It's what I did. We'll see if it works. Hopefully it does. Then you'll scroll down and add your signature to this first page, and that's it. The second page just provides some additional instructions. You can either print this out to sign it and place it in the mail, and the address to sign it is at the bottom of the second page, right here. The other option is to email it, which I found to be an easier option since I don't have a printer at home. So what you can do is, if you don't have a digital signature, just take a white piece of paper, sign your name, take a photo of it, and then save it as a JPEG and place it into the PDF. You'll want to save that, and then you send an email, and the email address unfortunately is not on this PDF, or I haven't been able to find it myself, but I did find it on the website, and that address is dcabsentee@votefordc.com. And again, I'll put that in the link below. So you'll just send an email, attach this PDF, and within a couple minutes you should get an automated reply saying that you have successfully submitted your absentee request. And that, I believe, is it. But if folks have other experiences or tips or insights, please let me know so I can correct that information. But yeah, be sure to do this so that you have a chance to have your voice heard come June. Thanks so much for listening.